Hey, I'm Josh with GH Coffee Solutions. Today we're in the GH GBS lab, and we're talking about the E80 Supreme from Mahlkönig. This is part of Mahlkönig's next generation line of grinders, which includes the E65, the E65 Grind by Weight, the E80 Supreme, and the home grinder, the X54. Today we're talking about the E80 Supreme, which is an amazing grinder, especially for high volume use. It gives you your coffee, let's say you're grinding a 20-gram dose in 2.5 seconds. That's unbelievably fast. You can grind 6 double shots per minute. Let me tell you about a couple other bells and whistles. You can adjust the grind size simply with one hand, which is very convenient for baristas, like so. And when you let go, it stays. So you no longer have the top knob that you had to unscrew and screw back to tighten like you did in the previous generation line of K30s. The big display is an awesome feature on the E80 Supreme. It's very easy to edit your dose. You simply click the edit button, turn the knob, click the edit button once more, and there you go. This is super convenient for baristas to do on the fly. The easier that function is on an on-demand grinder, the more likely your baristas are going to be dialed in on the spot and making amazing coffee. The portafilter bracket is very, very sturdy on this grinder. Similarly, the barista can have a hands-free experience. Once you lock and load, the grinder does its thing and you can take your hand away. Grab your portafilter when it's ready. Some other big upgrades that Mahlkönig did for this grinder, let's start with the hopper. The hopper is a very sturdy build. The top piece is actually screwed into the hopper collar, which is really nice. That will never become separated. So big improvement there. And this grinder boasts a very powerful motor that will keep your temperature stability even during busy shifts. There are 2 fans on this grinder, one underneath, one in the back. Again, to help keep that grind chamber cool, keep the consistency of coffee grinding. And the tray, magnetic. Pretty cool stuff. A couple other cool things about the E80. The spout comes right out. So that's super easy access for cleaning whenever you need it. Pops right back in. But before I do that, I'll show you, the spout is also adjustable. So there's a little bracket on the back panel here that allows you to bring that spout outwards or inwards to hit right in the center of that portafilter basket. Another thing I'll mention is the courtesy bump button here, if you will. So let's say you need just a little bit more coffee in your portafilter. No problem. There's a button that'll let you do that. Not true of the past generation, so this is a big improvement in my opinion. Let's take a look inside the grinder. First, let's close the closure plate. Next, we will grind out all the coffee that's in the throat and grind chamber of the grinder. Now we'll remove the hopper. And all we have to do now to access the silicone flapper inside and everything else is loosen 2 screws on the top. And at that point, you just rotate this middle piece to unlock the lid. Now I'll lift the lid off. And now we have access to our new and improved, super durable flapper or clump buster, if you'd like to call it that. The clump buster is very important for getting the very fluffy and evenly distributed dose that the E80 Supreme is able to give you. This is part of the technology that helps you get that. It's important to clean this flapper every 2 to 3 days just to get the excess oils and the excess coffee grounds off of it. And as you can see, getting to that flapper or that clump buster is very simple with this next generation line of Mahlkönig grinders. Twist back into place and screw your 2 screws back down. Now we're going to talk about accessing the burrs in the E80 Supreme. We'll take our grind adjustment knob to 0. Loosen the top screws so you can take the lid off. Unlock the middle piece, lift off the lid. And now you need to take your grind adjustment collar, if you will, off. So there's a spring-loaded lever here. Press that in, lift right off, very easy. And you have a couple more screws, 3 to be exact, that you will again just loosen these. And I'm doing this with a flathead screwdriver. You will now rotate the top portion of the grind chamber, and then it simply lifts right out. And you can see the rotary burr underneath. So we're dealing with 80mm burrs here, the E80, that's how we got that name. These 80mm burrs have the same cut pattern as the peak grinder. As we know, this cut pattern gives your coffee, accentuates the sweetness of your coffee, gives your coffee a really good taste. So that's why we continued that cut pattern in this next generation grinder, the E80 Supreme. I will put the top grind chamber back on, screw down these 3 screws, and let's talk about burr calibration. Again, it's made really simple with the E80 Supreme here. There's a rotating wheel here on the right side of your grinder, and you do need a screwdriver. You'll see a little space in between 2 of the cogs on this wheel. And you insert your screwdriver and rotate until you feel that the burrs are touching. So the bottom burr on this next generation line of Mahlkönig grinders is actually the rotating burr. So you just rotate that wheel and then rotate that bottom burr. When it doesn't rotate anymore, you know you've gone too far. So if need be, you just back off, and I've found the perfect spot now. So this grinder is calibrated. It's a very simple process. Now all we're gonna do is put our intermediate collar back on and put our lid back on, and we're done. As we're putting the intermediate ring on the grinder, you will see some notches, and you want to make sure the middle notch lines up with a notch that is on the chassis of your grinder. That's how you know you're putting it in the right place. And once again, you pull your spring-loaded tab. Now I'm gonna put our hopper back on. Unlike previous Mahlkönig espresso grinders, this one only fits one way. So you'll wanna take your closure plate and orient that towards the back of your grinder. And you will twist and pop it into place. And the next thing we wanna do after we've recalibrated our burrs perhaps, would be to calibrate our disc distance detection number. Here's how we do that. You're going to go into your software. The way you enter into the software menu is hitting your knob on the right twice in a row. And first we need to enter the settings section, and we're going to enter our owner password, which is 6781, and then you hit enter. Login successful. Now we're in. Next step is to back out of the password area, and you are going to go to the service section of your main menu. Scroll down, and you will see the disk distance detector, and there's a calibrate section. So we're going to click on that calibrate section. Please set grinding disks to 0 and press the jog dial. So we're going to make sure we are at 0, and then we are simply going to press the jog dial. Now you don't necessarily have an indication here, but we have calibrated the DDD successfully. So all we have to do is back out and exit the menu. You're ready to go. One really cool thing about the disk distance detection is that you have actually 6 different chances here to set a dose time. Very, very handy. So because you have such a big display and such a fully fledged software here, you're able to set many, many recipes. And within each one of those recipes, you can actually set your DDD. So if a certain grind setting worked really well for a certain single origin coffee, you can actually save that within the software. Really cool stuff. So the E80 Supreme is Mahlkönig's high volume solution. This thing cuts through coffee so quickly, 20 grams in 2.5 seconds. It's a joy for baristas to use with all the bells and whistles and the very easy to calibrate on-demand times. Everything is sturdy and reliable about this grinder. It's going to give you that great tasting coffee consistently throughout the day. The E80 Supreme from Mahlkönig. Please visit ghgbs.com to find out more.